In this part of the series on pricing, we're talking about how often do you change your pricing, or how often do you review your pricing to see if you need to change it. So depending on how you schedule your time, you might set up a system for every month or every quarter. You're going to take a look at your income statement and see if your profits are holding or if there is a reason for you to increase your pricing. In times of rapid inflation, which we're currently experiencing here in 2022, you might want to be increasing or reviewing your pricing more often. So let me tell you a story about a guy I call Joe Blow. Joe's looking at his financial statements, which were prepared by his accountant, and he's very confused, of course, because he had a spreadsheet that he maintained all year long that showed his sales. So sales, what he charged his customers. He'd been looking at that, he'd been tracking that very carefully, and his sales were up more than 10% this year. So he was expecting, when he got his financial statements from his accountant, that he would have made more money than he had made the year before because his sales were up. What Joe understands about business is that when sales go up, profits go up. However, what he's seeing is that that isn't the case. So Joe's sitting down with his accountant looking at his income statement, going line by line, and he's looking and he sees that some of his expenses have gone up. His insurance is up by 15%. His travel expense way up. And now he's starting to be a little bit annoyed with himself that he didn't take a look at this a little earlier. One of the things that he sees is that his margin has decreased. So the margin is the difference between what you sell a product for and what it costs you to either make or to buy. And I would suggest that lately a lot of people's margins have been reduced if they haven't increased their prices, because a lot of costs have gone up. We're seeing a period of inflation. Inflation means prices go up. If you don't increase your prices when your costs go up, then your margin is going to decrease. So this is not an uncommon thing where, Joe's pretty busy in his business all day doing what he does, and he didn't pay enough attention to the fact that some of his prices had gone up. His suppliers had sent him new price lists. He would have seen the invoices with the higher price, but he didn't really put it together with the fact that that meant that he was going to be making less money if he didn't increase his prices more. His revenue increase came from selling more to more clients. It didn't come from increasing his prices. So how do you avoid this kind of thing? Well, there's a couple of ways. Firstly, you get accurate financial statements more often than once a year from your accountant. You would take a look at your internal statements, or maybe you ask your accountant to help more frequently than just the annual financial statement, so that you can see what the trends are. You also, of course, can pay more attention when you see price lists coming across your desk with new changes, new prices written on them. And, of course, what I started off talking about is you should schedule time every month, I think, to take a look at whether your prices are accurate and whether you should be increasing them. If you have price lists, then those price lists should be changed as frequently as your costs are changing. If you quote jobs, then you want to see that the job has been quoted with the most current prices and that you've put a time limit, of course, on that this quote is only good for a period of time. In order to make money in business, you have to be charging more than it costs you to do business. And you need to have a way of keeping track of all of your price increases and all of your quotes to make sure that you're maintaining the fact that you are in fact selling your product or service at a profit.